This fight should be example number 1 on why you should never attempt to jump somebody.
Oh my god.
So today's episode comes from the failed jumping of Magneto in X-Men 97. And unfortunately, this results in one of the most torturous events in Wolverine's entire life. So the X-Men decided to go ahead and attack Magneto today because after everyone was getting absolutely cooked basically by the Sentinel threat Bastion and his mind control Sentinel victims, Magneto helped shut a lot of that down because let's be honest, the X-Men were losing and he went to shut off all of the power on the entire Earth. Bro, deadass just unleashed the biggest EMP ever. But I'm gonna be honest, this was one of the most justifiable crash outs from Magneto. Like, up until this point in the season, Magneto had literally been giving chance after chance. He didn't crash out after Professor X's death and instead decided to carry on his dream. He didn't crash out when another X-Men was targeted and Storm lost her powers and that one hurt everybody. And then after this, the one mutant utopia he has been completely destroyed, killing multiple innocent mutants. And he's kidnapped and chained up by a human Sentinel hybrid and you expect him to be calm? I honestly feel like we were lucky considering that Magneto only took away power and light from the entire Earth. He could have gone on a rampage. So now that the stage is set, I hope you understand that what Magneto does by the end of this fight, this crash out is mostly justifiable. So the X-Men pull up and they're there to basically convince Magneto and be like, bro, you can't just turn off the lights. You gotta let people have power. And they honestly waste no time and them and Magneto immediately start running the fade. And also before this, Sunspot and Rogue decided to join Magneto's cause because they found it justifiable. What's hilarious about this fight starting off is that Rogue already knew Wolverine wanted to crash out and kill Magneto, so she just tackles his ass out the air. She doesn't even let him get close. This fight was pretty lopsided to begin with because you really only got Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and Cyclops really able to attack Magneto. Against someone like Magneto, Nightcrawler can really only dodge for a majority of this fight, and Cyclops, his beams aren't penetrating that magnetic. Wolverine somehow is actually able to kick off Rogue and he gets on Magneto's back right after. Magneto's able to make pretty light work of Wolverine, but Wolverine's able to finesse the helmet off of his head really quick. And I'll be honest, I legit thought the fight was over here because once Professor X puts you in a mind trap genjutsu, it's very rare that you're actually gonna be able to break out unless you're just more powerful than him. Like, look at how bad Magneto's dead ass tweaking here, bro. He cannot stand what Professor X is doing to him. And now before we proceed to the next section, I want to emphasize I actually do like Cyclops. I'm not one of those people that's gonna cook Cyclops and say he's the lamest X-Men, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I actually think his leadership qualities are pretty cool. He was just lame in the movie. And up until this point in X-Men 97, I was actually really rocking with Cyclops, bro. But this being the moment that he decides to stop Professor X from reversing everything Magneto had done was absolutely stupid. Like, if you asked me, this was Cyclops' weird little pettiness about not being chosen to lead the X-Men after Professor X supposedly died. And unfortunately, this was the moment where I knew the rest of the X-Men were cooked. Like, Magneto got up and said nothing and just completely put everyone to the wall, even his helpers. Bro slammed Professor X with his helmet to block out his psychic powers and then picked him up like he was a toy in a crane machine. Magneto is completely pissed at this point. He had legitimately given the X-Men chance after chance after chance after chance. Wolverine's an idiot too because after this he proceeds to legitimately stab Magneto and a mega level mutant in the back. The literal mutant who opposes his entire power set because his entire skeleton is made of metal. This is like if you're playing Pokemon and you're going against a fire type and you decide to pull out a grass type. It doesn't make any sense. So Magneto proceeds to do one of the most hellish things imaginable that I've seen in Marvel. He rips every single piece of antimanium out of Wolverine's entire skeletal structure. Legitimately, I have never seen such a disgusting thing happen to another character. Like, it's one thing for Wolverine to have gone through the procedure and have that upgrade in the first place, but the idea that his healing factor is so damn strong that he just has to live through this, I legitimately feel so bad for Wolverine here, bro, because I know he thought he was so raw for stabbing him, and now Magneto treated bro's bones like a candy wrapper and just ripped it off. face. Like, this is legitimately nothing but pure agony. But you can't say Magneto wasn't trying to be nice, bro. I'm gonna be honest. First time Wolverine hopped on his back, he just threw him away. If Wolverine hops on his back again and he decides to eviscerate him for it, you can't really blame him. He legitimately got stabbed. I think what was funnier for me is the fact that he decided to pretend like it actually hurt him. Like, he coughed up the blood and everything and then held a straight face like he knew exactly what he was about to do. Bro legitimately just chefed up everybody's favorite X-Men. It was tragic. After this, it honestly just results in Professor X crashing out on Magneto now that his helmet's off. And while I low-key thought they were about to create a certain character, that did not come to fruition. But X-Men 97 honestly has a lot of crazy fights and moments that I could cover, so if you guys want me to cover another one, just let me know. But today's was the failed jumping of Magneto that led to him crashing out on Wolverine. If you enjoyed this, let me know, but until next time, my name is Time Pizza, and I will see you pizza people on the other side of the slice. Peace.